But it's not nice that you're running hundreds of millions of dollars in negative ads against me.
Kellyanne.
And he has a point.
Come on. It's not nice.
Oh, that's...
They are running for president. Of course she's going to hit him with negative
ads.
But the ad
should be true.
He's out there on the
should be true.
He's out. The ads that she's running about him when it comes to his comments on women use his words, Kellyanne.
No,
use his words.
No, but her ads... Okay, but Megan, why is she spending all this money and not talking about her vision for post-Obamacare?
Because there's two facets of a campaign. You know that better than anybody. You hit your opponent and try to disqualify him or her, and then you sell your own vision. I mean, she's allowed to hit him with negative ads, and he should be hitting her right back, should he not? There goes my bracelet.
I would rather lose than win the way you guys did.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes. No, you wouldn't.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No.
That's very clear today. No, you wouldn't. Do you think I ran a campaign where white supremacists had a platform? You going to look me in the face and tell me that?
It did. Kellyanne
really?
did.
Oh, and that's how you lost?
It did.
Do you think you could have just had a decent message for the white working class voters? Do you think this woman who has nothing in common with anybody...
I'm not saying that's what you want.
It's Hillary Clinton. She doesn't connect with people. How about they have nothing in common with her?
Was Donald Trump for the Iraq War or against it?
He was a private citizen who was against the Iraq War. You heard him with Howard Stern say, yeah, I guess so. Had he been in the United States Senate, he would have casted a vote against the Iraq War.
How do we know that?
Because he said so. Hillary Clinton went into the well of the United States Senate representing this state of New York and cast a vote in favor of the Iraq War.
This is not about Hillary Clinton, it's about Donald Trump and
no,
what
it's about
he said. Because she has acknowledged that vote and acknowledged it was a mistake. He has not, and he wants to have it both ways.
He has acknowledged that her vote in the Iraq War was a mistake. He agrees with her that it was a mistake.
No, but he has not acknowledged that at one point he said he was for the war. Why can't he simply say that? At one point I was, and then I changed my mind.
Because there are other public statements that he made. She went against the military brass when they said don't do Libya. She went against the military brass when people wanted her to recognize Boko Haram as a terrorist organization. They've used innocent little girls as suicide shields.
I mean, you keep referring to her, and we will talk about her record when her running mate is here later in this program. Just one last question. North Korea. What would Donald Trump do if North Korea has ballistic missiles that can carry nuclear weapons to the continental United States?
Well, he wouldn't do what's being done now with the president over in Asia talking about Donald Trump instead of really talking about North Korea.
You always refer to what the Democrats are doing.
It's a choice election.
What would he do? He wants to be president. What would he do if North Korea had the capacity to deliver a nuclear weapon to the United States?
Donald Trump would be, first of all, his entire America First campaign doctrine is that he would always look out for the interests of this country. And North Korea and the rest of the world would know, Charlie, that President Trump and Vice President Pence aren't messing around with anybody who's trying to threaten our lives.
What would he do about North Korea if they had the capacity?
Would it be diplomatic
he would make sure,
military response?
He would make sure that they would never use it.
How?
He's not going to reveal all of his plans now. He's made that very clear. And maybe somebody can ask him in a debate. American said that Donald Trump is healthy and fit to do the job of president. And 53% of Americans said Hillary was. That's America. That's your poll.
What's with the sniffles? What was the sniffles about? What was all that sniffling about?
She said it wasn't a cold. What was the sniffling about?
Well, it wasn't what Howard Dean said. I guess he was thirsty. You're going to criticize somebody for being thirsty and sniffling?
Remember we went after Marco Rubio for that?
Wait, we're going to go after him for drinking water, and we're not going to ask Hillary Clinton why 5 people on her staff pled the 5th and took immunity last week?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, Kellyanne. Once you open that can of worms, we have to then open your can of worms.
What I want to know is what she was hiding in 33 emails, 33,000 emails she deleted.
What is Donald Trump hiding by not releasing
so there is
information?
A 104-page financial disclosure
if you can't,
financial, you can access.
She has never been hacked. She's never been hacked. I want to know, since every other president has had to do it, where are the tax returns?
So
that's what I want to know.
I'll repeat what he has said many times.
I know you will.
It's under audit by his lawyer and his accountant.
It's bull.
First of all, let me tell you what America wants to know. What their tax return will look like under a President Trump and a President Clinton. Under President Hillary Clinton, their taxes, he's not hiding anything.
I think he is.
I mean, Trump's companies spent money in Cuba during the embargo when Fidel Castro... during his regime.
The whole story.
But these are serious accusations.
To find out that then he didn't invest in it. No, they're not treasonous. I read the entire story. He did business in Cuba, and it turns out that he decided not to invest there.
Are you denying that his company spent any money in Cuba?
I think they paid money, as I understand from the story, they paid money in 1998. I know we're not supposed to talk about years ago when it comes to the Clintons, but with Trump,
well,
there is no statute of limitations ever.
He keeps bringing it up. He's the one.
That
but I don't believe you're allowed to spend money unless it's a humanitarian effort or a government effort.
I can't comment on what she's saying because I'm not her, and I wasn't in the pageant or any other pageant.
Okay, but your candidate is talking about how he did what she described.
Yeah, I heard you. Okay. Well, no, he didn't say what she described was pretty graphic and detailed. And yet we never ever want to talk, particularly CNN, where we've offered up these women to you. We never want to talk to the women who were shamed and blamed by Hillary Clinton because they had sexual contact with her husband. That somehow is not relevant. But Donald Trump on Howard Stern's show is relevant. And you want me to believe that a critical mass
We've covered it, Kellyanne. We've covered it on. I mean, I disagree with you.
Not really.
It's a fact. We have covered it on.
Here.
Well, Donald Trump is running for president, and we have certainly looked at your allegations and we have fact-checked them. We have fact-checked that if you go on CNN.com. We've gone painstakingly through the very claims you're talking about, and we found that they were exaggerated. So I want to talk to you about your candidate.
I'm sorry, what was exaggerated? What is exaggerated?
No, I'm talking to you about this.
I'm sorry, what is exaggerated?
So as he
is... Oh, you don't want to talk about it. That's my point. What was exaggerated?
I would love to talk about the issues. A lot of this is driven by your candidate.
Security. I'm ready. No, it's not. It's driven by what? No, I think it's probably driven by ratings or clickbait.
Just giving you a very simple question. Donald
Trump.
Trump.
Why is this so important to you? Why is this so motivating?
Here's why. Here's why. Because as we heard yesterday in those hearings, and as you well know, my respect for you is complete when it comes to your understanding of the issues. Cybersecurity is a big deal. Russia intervening in this election and getting away with it is a big deal. You need to be on the same page. So, the leader of me and everyone in this country saying, I don't buy it. I believe Julian Assange, intelligence, we don't really know. That's troubling because they know it was Russia. And it raises this question that I don't understand why you want to raise, which is, why would Trump shelter Russia? That's why I'm concerned.
Let me ask you a question. He's not sheltering Russia, and don't you say that again. He's not sheltering Russia.
How is he not?
What has the current president done vis-a-vis Russia for the last 8 years?
I don't understand how the legitimate answer to the question is to blame the current president.
No, excuse me. You know who the person who put this collection of raw material is, right?
We're not reporting that raw material. We're not reporting that this person. We're not basing our reporting on what this person did. Of course, it was opposition research. CNN is not BuzzFeed. I just wish you guys would acknowledge and just be straightforward. I get why politically it makes sense for you to link CNN with what BuzzFeed did, but as Jake Tapper has repeatedly said on the air, he doesn't approve. He's one of the reporters on this. He thinks it's unfair.
But now that it's out there, CNN's all too happy to refer to it, aren't you?
We're not reporting it. No, we've mentioned none of it on the air. We have not talked about any details on the air.
It's on your website. That's
you can't stick to what we're talking about now.
Oh, no. This is what we're talking about because the excitement, the fury about hacking reached a fever pitch after the election results were neither what was expected or desired by CNN, President Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the whole crew. Okay? If cybersecurity was such a big priority to this administration and the Democratic Party and its apologists in the media, then why didn't we do more about it over the last 8 years? It's all talked about in the election. I came on this network.
So you don't think it deserves an apology?
It talked about things.
If our kids did that, can you imagine what we would say to them?
I'm not going to bring my kids into this.
I will. If my kid did something like that, it would be a really tough day.
But look,
an iPad
you have to listen to what the president-elect has said about that. Why don't you believe him? Why does everything taken at face value? 62% of Americans, according to CNN's polling, said Hillary Clinton can't tell the truth about anything, and yet
she was right behind her.
No, she was given the benefit of the doubt here constantly.
When?
You can't give him the benefit of the doubt on this, and he's telling you what was in his heart. You always want to go by what's come out of his mouth rather than look at what's in his heart.
It's a gesture that he's making on video. Everybody can see it. I'm not judging the man. I'm judging.
And explain, you did not answer the question. Why did the president send out his press secretary, who's not just the spokesperson for Donald Trump, he also serves as the spokesperson for all of America at times. He speaks for all of the country at times. Why put him out there for the very first time in front of that podium to utter a provable falsehood? It's a small thing, but the first time he confronts the public, it's a falsehood?
Chuck, I mean, if we're going to keep referring to our press secretary in those types of terms, I think that we're going to have to rethink our relationship here. I want to have a great open relationship with our press, but look what happened the day before, talking about falsehoods. We allowed the press to come into the Oval Office and witness President Trump signing executive orders. And of course, the Senate had just confirmed General Mattis and General Kelly to their 2 posts, and we allow the press in. And what happens almost immediately? A falsehood is told about removing the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. That's just flat out false. And
it was corrected immediately.
Chuck, why was it said? Chuck, why was it said in the first place? Because everybody is so presumptively negative.
Into the head of that
no,
reporter.
that it's okay. No, excuse me. Oh, no. That reporter was writing on behalf of the press pool. That falsehood got spread 3,000 times before it was corrected.
Excuse
and
me.
it's still out there.
It does not excuse, and you did not answer the question.
I did answer your question.
No, you did not. You did not answer the question of why the president asked the White House press secretary to come out in front of the podium for the first time and utter a falsehood. Why did he do that? It undermines the credibility of the entire White House press office on day one.
Don't be so overly dramatic about it, Chuck. You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that. But the point remains.
Wait a minute. Alternative facts? Alternative facts, 4 of the 5 facts he uttered. The one thing he got right was Zeke Miller. 4 of the 5 facts he uttered were just not true. Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
Chuck, do you think it's a fact or not that millions of people have lost their plans, their health insurance, and their doctors under President Obama? Do you think it's a fact that everything we heard from these women yesterday happened on the watch of Barack Obama? He was president for 8 years. Donald Trump's been here for about 8 hours. Do you think it's a fact that millions of women, 16.1 million women, as I stand here before you today, are in poverty along with their kids? Do you think it's a fact that millions don't have health care? Do you think it's a fact that we spent billions of dollars on education in the last 8 years only to have millions of kids still stuck in schools that fail them every single day? These are the facts that I want the press corps to cover, and this is why I'm here at the White House to change awful numbers like that.
That is not what yesterday was about. So you have not answered the question. You did not answer the question.
It's what this presidency is going to be about.
You sent the press secretary out there to utter a falsehood on the smallest, pettiest thing.
I don't think anybody can prove that. Look, I actually don't think that. Maybe this is me as a pollster, Chuck, and you know data well. I don't think you can prove those numbers one way or the other. There's no way to really quantify crowds. We all know that. You can laugh at me all you want, but I'm very glad.
Look,
just
Chuck, befuddled.
Well, but you are, and I think it's actually symbolic of the way we're treated by the press. The way that you just laughed at me is actually symbolic of the way, very representative of the way we're treated by the press.
Governor Bush, Donald, you're not going to be able to insult your way to the presidency. That's not going to happen.